Well, with June down and out of the way, we are officially halfway through the year. So we're going to wrap it up, get it out of there, and then look forward to the second half of the year. As always, I do want to start the video off with a quick thank you to anybody who sent me something this month, which there was only one book that I was sent for the month of June. It was Tales Told Around a Strange Fire by Bud Templin, and this is a self-published book. I'm assuming sent to me by the author, or at the very least by somebody on Bud's behalf. So, Tales Told Around a Strange Fire. So as always, thank you for the book. Next up is, of course, the wrap-up for the month, and I read in the month of June Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, Vampire Tapestry by Susie McKee Jarnes, Only Forward by Michael Marshall Smith. I drew a blank on that one for some reason. Piranesi by Susanna Clark, and Dust of Dreams by Stephen Erickson. Now, as always, Dust of Dreams is going to get its own video. That should be later this week if I can get my shit together and get my notes written. There's always so difficult to do a Malazan book review, and they're the longest videos that I make, and the notes are probably the longest notes I write. There's a lot that goes into talking about a Malazan book, and I don't know why. It's just, they're some of the most labor intensive as far as my thinking and thought process, and I don't know. Maybe I work too hard at a book review. Who knows? Don't ask me. Piranesi got its dedicated book review. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. Oh my God, go read the book if you haven't read it. 5-star book, 10 out of 10 read. So good. Michael Marshall Smith also got his book review video dedicated because Patreon pick of the month. I always do a video for it. It's the least that I can do other than reading the book, and that is make a video about it. You know, that's how things work. So that leaves Assassin's Apprentice and The Vampire Tapestry as my two that I need to talk about and wrap up and review for this month. And we're going to start with the one that actually got a dedicated review. I filmed the whole video and everything. And then a storm hit Ohio, and I lost all of the footage and the audio, and I just lost everything. And it was, the footage was probably still on the card. I could have salvaged the footage from the SD card. The audio was gone. So it was just, and my back was up against the wall. I was going on vacation, and I just said, there went that. We'll talk about it in this one. Now, this book, spoiler alert, this is a great book. I was not supposed to finish or continue reading this series. I was going to take a break from this series and move on to something else, and I was going to come back to the Farseer trilogy eventually. That didn't happen. I already have done the Assassin's, what's the Royal Assassin? You know, I finished that last night, as a matter of fact, so I'm actually 2 books down. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about this one. But I read it because this one was just such an enjoyable read. I really enjoyed this one a lot more than I kind of expected to, and I wanted, maybe that's not what I'm trying to say. I wanted to move on more than I wanted to, if that makes any sense. Now, you hear a lot of good things about Robin Hobb and her writing, and there might be a few things here that I'm getting ready to say that might be a little controversial, but there's some things in this book that, I don't know, I think might hook a lot of other people that I just genuinely don't kind of give a crap about. Like, I'm not a big animal companion guy, so, I mean, she introduces like this idea of the wit, and although I do love the magic of the wit, and it's such a fascinating magic to have, but then she uses it to introduce these animal companions, and I kind of don't care. I'm not a big animal companion guy. That's not a hook that gets me, so maybe hot take, but... And then there's other things people say. Her prose is amazing. I thought her prose was quite good, and very enjoyable reading. It was just this good posh kind of proper nobleman sounding prose to it. Nothing too heady, nothing too sophisticated, nothing too pretentious. Just kind of good proper noble vibe. Then there's the character work that people like to go on about. A lot of people is like, oh, some of the greatest character work you'll ever read. And then other people that are like, I don't get it because the characters are like not great, and the bad guy Regal is like a paper thin mustache twirling villain. And I agree that the Regal is kind of a mustache twirling villain, but I don't see that as a bad thing. That's not a complaint for me. It's kind of, sometimes that's okay. You can just have him there as this like slippery snake of a guy that gets out of things he shouldn't be getting out of. And he's just really easy to hate. And that's fine with me. I thought that was okay. And yes, he is a little bit of a mustache twirler, but like I said, that didn't detract from the book for me at all. And then most of the characters are not super well fleshed out, except for our main character. I mean, that's really where our focus is. And I wouldn't say it's like the greatest character work I've ever seen in a book, but I would say that it is a very character forward focused book. The characters are really kind of in the front and foremost of the book. And that's good. That's always good for a book for me. I like Stephen King and stuff like that. Actually, as a matter of fact, speaking of Stephen King, I think this is a very, very fast read is what I really noticed about this. It's so easy to read and it's such a fast read. It is, you'll just be tearing through it. It kind of reminded me of Stephen King, because Stephen King can write a 1,000-page book and you'll tear through it in a week faster than a typical 1,000-page book, because his books are so readable. It makes them very fast reads. That's what I noticed about Robin Hobb. She is extremely readable and they're extremely fast reads. And then they're character forward with the focus. And then on top of that, I think it's just really, 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 my main draw to it was it's just really good drama. And there's a lot of just little different moving pieces and parts. And then where, a lot is happening at a single point in time with a lot of political machinations and movings, and this person's up to this, but this person's up to that, but we can't do this because it's like a house of cards. It'll all fall down if you make just the wrong move at just the wrong time. He fits our main characters in so many different like precarious situations at once where you kind of boxed in and he can't get out of it. And it's, at any given point in time, you're really not sure who's going to do what, when, where, and how. And then it's like there's a lot of tension, and she just really is good at building that. And then it feels very smart the way that she's put it together. It feels like an intelligent person has put this mystery together for us, because there's a lot of people who try to build that kind of attention and that kind of mystery and that kind of intrigue and that kind of political, tension. And it just feels weak and flimsy and it doesn't feel smartly written. That's not this. This feels like an extremely intelligent person put this together for us. And I appreciate it. And like I said, the drama feels very smart. And that is important for me to say, because I feel like, I know this review's going on for a really long time, I feel like a lot of times that real drama for drama's sake in a book is a drawback for me. That's a thing that I don't like. Sometimes I end up rolling my eyes if somebody gets out of something, or we just feels like we're drawing it out for unnecessarily so. And I thought this was very well done and very good drama, which is easy to fuck up, in my opinion. Anyway, and last but not least, I will say a thing that I did roll my eyes at in this book was the names. After a while, I get it. And there's this whole explanation in the beginning about how a name is given to somebody at their childhood, and they're supposed to be bound by their name, and they're supposed to be, chivalry is supposed to be chivalrous, and wisdom is supposed to be wise, and patience is supposed to be patient. Like, there's this whole thing to the names. But after a while, they're a little bit so on the nose, and they're a little bit overdone to the point where I was starting to roll my eyes a little bit. I mean, the master of the Assassin's Guild is Shade. It's just, I don't know. I did kind of roll my eyes at the names a little bit. I thought they did, after a while, they felt a little silly. And I think they were supposed to feel smart, and they became so overused that they actually kind of felt like the opposite. I think clever. I think they were supposed to feel clever, and I think they ended up feeling like the opposite of clever by the time we got done really hammering that thing home, whatever. Anyway, next up, The Vampire Tapestry by Susie McKee Charnas. And this one was, oh my gosh, I loved this one. I did slip this one into a video that I made called Hidden Gems because I really think it is. I've never even heard of it. If it wouldn't be for Heidi who sent this to me, I wouldn't even know that this book existed. This is a book about a vampire named Professor Wayland, and he is a professor at a college, and it's much more of a like scientific technical perspective on what a vampire is and how he would live and actually exist in the world. How would he have stayed under the radar for as long as he has, and how would he exist really in this world? It's not like you're, oh my gosh, this big evil bad guy. And he's kind of the main character of the book. So he's not like, you know, Dracula. He's Dr. Wayland, and he's a professor, and he's kind of just keeping his head down and minding his own business. And it was originally written as like a series of novellas or short stories that were then later put into a book. It's kind of like a fix-up, and they are just drastically different perspectives on him. They all follow the same guy, Dr. Wayland, and they all, not many of them actually view the story from his perspective. It is almost always somebody else's perspective on him as we go through the various different stories, and they are just so different. And some of them, like, you'll go from one to the next, you'll be like, oh, this isn't even the same kind of story. We're off in like way different territory now. And I loved every bit of it. I loved that short story feeling. I loved all of the different perspectives. I loved the way she kind of brings it back around and kind of brings it home in the last final story for him, and the way that she chooses to end it. I thought it was just so well done. There's like a musical interlude, and it then is like this weird story where it's like we're going through him visiting an opera, but we're also going through the actual opera at the same time. It's so fascinating. All of it was just so well done. And just, I can't express enough how good of a book this was. It was just so neat to go through and get all of the different little perspectives and vibes and feelings, and so good. So good. If you haven't read it, check it out. It was not a scary book, not even close. That's not the point, but boy, was it good literature, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And last but not least, I do want to bring out my orb over here because I didn't finish it. This is book 1 and 2, volumes 1 and 2. I am on like volume 4 of 8. So I'm not quite halfway through. I didn't actually get to finish Orb in the month of June. What I can say is it was surprising. I knew nothing. I went into this one blind. I go into so many things blind. I hear somebody recommend it and they talk good about it. I'm like, oh, I should read that. And what I will say is by the end of volume 1, it ends in a way that I did not expect it to. Like, you read volume 1, you're like, well, damn, like I didn't see that coming. I thought maybe some of those people would last a little longer. Anyway, super, super good stuff so far. And I will attempt to finish that probably in July. We'll see how far I get because I'm already kind of bogged down with all kinds of stuff. But that's good. Really good. I honestly don't know what to say about that one really, other than I am quite enjoying it. I did not get to finish it, and I am slowly chipping away at it in the background. Anyway, that's pretty much my month of June, and as always, everybody, the link for the Patreon is in the description below. The link for my Discord's in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.